Welcome to the very first episode of the Summoning Circle, a Ritual Hits podcast where we sit down with the people who shape the communities we love, collectors, creators, vendors, and the ones who make this hobby so special. I wanted episode 1 to start with someone who embodies everything this show is about: community, passion, connection, and purpose. And that's why today's guest is absolutely perfect. Today I'm joined by Brennan. I don't know actually how to say your last name, and I've tried. Is it Sandefer?
Sandefer, that's right.
Sandefer, nailed it. The heart behind 901 Deals, a name known across multiple communities, from Pokemon to sneakers to fashion and more. For almost a decade, Brennan has been fundraising for St. Jude, using his platform, sales, and events to make a difference. Brennan doesn't just sell things, he builds communities, connects people, and brings energy genuinely everywhere he goes. Brennan, welcome to the Summoning Circle.
Andrew, thank you so much for having me, man. And I am beyond flattered just from the introduction. We can end it there. It's
You want
only
to end
gonna
it
go
there?
down.
I'm glad you like it. I'm
That's great.
Yeah, was a little nervous about it.
No.
Also, for everybody watching, Summoning Circle is, think of it kind of interview journalism, but yet you like, yes, there's questions, but it's going to be the rawest form. It's just a conversation at the end of the day. So that's how I want everybody to look at it. Jumping right in, Brennan, for people who know nothing, think of this as the first time they were ever seeing you.
Yeah.
Who are you? And
All right.
how,
Well,
how'd you get to where you are?
the intro does me more justice than I'm probably capable of doing, but I'll give it a shot. I got my elevator pitch ready at most
Okay.
times. My name is Brennan Sandefer. I am the owner and operator of 901 Deals LLC. That is a platform here in Memphis, Tennessee that fundraises for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We specialize in buy, sell, trade through the means of sneakers, fashion, Pokemon cards, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, sports cards, Magic the Gathering, One Piece, video games, and other collectibles, hobbies, or any sort of community that I have found myself in over the years. I believe in getting high in your own supply.
Yes.
I have always been a firm believer that you cannot sell a product you do not believe in or you do not
Yep.
understand. I am a firm believer that if you are actually a part of a community, then the community will be a part of you, and that
Yep.
has allowed me to flourish in a lot of intersection that doesn't usually work. Self-proclaiming, I'm one of the only people that actually can do sneakers and Pokemon, and people don't look at me as the scum of the earth. I'm sure a couple still slip through the cracks, mostly my mom, but
There you
no,
go.
I'm just kidding. But I started fundraising for St. Jude when I was a wee little lad. And then I got into college and I started doing so more seriously with a program called Up Till Dawn. I solidified my name in the program when I got a reoccurring $5,000 annual donation for the Tony Jurgens silent auction on St. Jude campus, which is a really big deal to this day. My
Yep.
friend Todifer Cuervo and I solidified that. So every year, $5,000 goes into St. Jude through something we had started. While I was in college, I was able to fundraise just shy of $30,000 through my own platforms. And
Wow.
since college, I now donate anywhere from $4,000 to $10,000 through 901 Deals. I run either the half marathon or the full marathon every year, and I am still Memphis based and operated. However, my job has allowed me to travel all across the world now, as I've done some business overseas as well. And I could not be more thankful for it and absolutely love what I do and love the people I get to do it with. I mean, you are a prime example. We met in
Yeah.
passing just a few weeks ago, and since then, I think we've talked most days, and it has been a true pleasure and delight.
Yeah. Likewise. And I mean, that being said, I feel like, uh, well, I've texted you about it. I'm thankful that we ever met or even crossed paths in the first place. Um, and I would like to apologize for certain people watching that I've been talking to Brennan more than you. Uh, um, I I want to I we'll get to the TCG stuff, and I want to get to the TCG sneakers, fashion, all that. But
Sure.
I want to talk about the fundraising because I feel like that's there's not a lot of, well, at least from my knowledge of where I'm at in my circles, there's not a lot of people that do what you do. So I want to ask you a couple questions about that. I know you touched on it, but if you want to go into it in more detail, that's up to you. How did the idea of like fundraising for St. Jude even begin for you?
Sure. So, my grandma died of cancer. As sad as it is, and as just straight to the point it goes. But that
Yeah.
was my grandmother. So my grandmother again passed away from cancer. When I was a child, she was my best friend. Um, I matured very quickly as a child. I had a very interesting upbringing. And through that, I had to operate as an adult some of the time that I was a child. And there were a lot of expectations on myself. And so, even as a child, I didn't always see myself as a child. And one of the ways that really showcased is once my grandmother passed, we were doing mathathon and we were fundraising for sick kids. Well, I was a sick kid. I was in and out of hospitals for really bad asthma, respiratory problems, and all sorts of random stuff. I was born with gallstones as a baby. I had gallbladder issues, stomach issues, all sorts of stuff. So I spent a lot of time in different hospitals here in Memphis. However, one hospital I never went to was St. Jude,
Okay.
and I met some other kids who had chronic diseases or ailments that led them to the hospital more often than a child should ever have to be, and I pray way more often than any of my children have to be. But I kept hearing about St. Jude, and they used to have a couple of commercials, and I knew a couple of friends. One of my childhood best friends, their father worked on the St. Jude side, and his mother worked on the ALSAC side, which ALSAC actually is the fundraising operation. So St. Jude is so big now that it is a entire hospital, but it has its entire section of fundraising that's its own entity that is a nonprofit, is a 501(c)(3). So they are able to do a lot, a whole
Got
lot.
you.
And so even as a kid, after my grandmother passed, a lot of hardships fell into my life. Um, but I was always very thankful that my grandmother passed and it wasn't my little sister and it wasn't myself and it wasn't my cousin. It wasn't a child who didn't even hit double digits in their lifespan. And it led me to look more into Danny Thomas, who started St. June, and it
Yeah.
led me into really just understanding what St. Jude did. And by the time I was in high school, I was absolutely fascinated by them. And then in college, I found out about the Up Till Dawn program, which basically is college kids fundraising for St. Jude year long, making parties out of it, just dedicating some of their time and some of their day to it. Um, and it was really cool. So I did that for 3 years, and then on my third year of college, I had asked everybody I knew and everybody I knew if they would donate to St. Jude. And most say yes. Most will, if I say, "Hey,
Yeah.
I'll even take $1 and I'll donate it." Like I have been called the mouth of the South once or twice, and I will talk to a brick wall if it looks like it might talk back. Um, and by the third year, people were like, "Man, didn't I just donate?" And I'm like, "Well, kids are still at St. Jude." And part of me felt bad
Yeah.
because I was also entering true adulthood where I was paying for everything on my own. And although I was blessed with scholarships, I was blessed with some money I had saved up as well as some funding from my father as well. um, it got a little bit difficult, and I started to really understand what it meant when I was asking people to give money with nothing in return. I grew up a basketball player, I grew up a
Yep.
Pokemon trainer, and I grew up a Yu-Gi-Oh player. I also was many other things, but as a kid, if you had come up to me anytime between like kindergarten and fifth grade, I could talk to you about sports. I could talk to you about Pokemon. And most likely, I had a Game Boy in my hand or in my back pocket. And I had either a basketball, football, baseball, and gloves, something athletic with me as well. I always absolutely loved both. There's a local Nike here in Memphis, Tennessee. So
Yep.
Nike headquarters is split between Beaverton, Oregon, where it was founded and started, and Memphis, Tennessee, due to trains, planes, and automobiles, but due
Yep.
to them being a hub. Memphis, Tennessee is a hub for a lot of things, especially FedEx, UPS, and USPS. So me being a basketball player, I got really into sneakers. Well, all of that long hoorah made into a shorter synopsis. A couple friends of mine began to work for Nike. And when I was a kid, I got hooked up with Elite socks. So they were the Nike socks with the patterns on the back. And that's all I
Yep.
could afford. And even at half off, those were $7 to $8, $7.70 after tax. So I had a bunch of those, but I could only ever get two pairs of basketball shoes. I had to get them on sale and they had to be under $80 each, and that was even a stretch if I could get 150 out of my parents. So I saved up some money, and I went to Nike, and one of my friends was working there. It was a very good friend of mine, and they allowed me to use their employee discount. So the discount that I
There you
was
go.
already getting at the clearance store, I got an additional 30 or 40% off. Well, I realized I didn't need four pairs of shoes and I expected to pay for four pairs. And I really only paid for two. So I sold the other two and all of the proceeds I just donated to St. Jude. And I was like, huh, I just made $100 for St. Jude. And usually that takes me a lot more time. It takes me a whole lot more effort. And I enjoyed this. Plus, I got shoes for people who wanted shoes. And even though I made profit, I sold them to them for cheaper than they could get them at the store. So that led me to reaching out to my friend and saying, what would it look like if I got to go to the employee store? What would it look like? And long story short, what I was doing was not illegal, but it was not okay. So
Yeah.
Nike is pretty firm on not reselling. However, there is that gray area with fundraising. And so when I first started 901 Deals, I was initially a 501c3, which
Okay.
means I was nonprofit, which you can
Yep.
still make profit as a nonprofit, but basically all your books are open. You're eligible for different grants, but you're also under more scrutiny, depending on where you are and what it's for. So there are actually more nonprofits than for profits here in Memphis, Tennessee. Um, Thanks to this, it actually made being a 501c3 more difficult than a sole propriety LLC. So I
Yep.
decided that I'm making money for myself. I don't want to be told if I make $20 profit, five has to go to St. Jude, 10 can go to me, five can go to taxes and food, whatever, back into the business. I wanted full and total control over it because no offense to anyone else, but like you said, there's not a whole lot of people who are giving back financially, at least
Yes.
that's part of their regiment, and that's okay. I mean, I would never expect that of people, but I will say that part of it has definitely benefited me as a business. There are many people who have bought stuff from me over the years, and almost the sole reason they purchased something from me was knowing that I donate on behalf of everyone that purchases anything. So maybe it's 1 cent, maybe it's 5 cents, maybe it's the whole donation if that's what if I'm really pushing that weekend. But I have the paper trail and the confirmation from St. Jude themselves that every year I donate a bare minimum of $4,000 to St. Jude. And most years I far supersede that. And it was mostly with shoes when I began, but I've been collecting Pokemon my whole life. So especially during the 25th celebration, which starting in 2 months is exactly 5 years ago, that was the first time I really like flipped sealed product because I was getting so much celebrations and just ripping so much of it that so many of my buddies could not get a hold of celebration ETBs. So I was just picking up a couple of extra when I could on restocks selling it to them for an extra $10 and donating 5 of it to St. Jude anyways. So everything I've ever resold or flipped since I was 18 years old, at least a small percent of it has gone to St. Jude. And that will be, if I quit donating to St. Jude, I've quit making money. That is just, I've decided that long ago, and I am a firm believer in Jesus Christ as well, and I truly
Yeah.
believe that the money I make is not for me anyways. So I'm happy to have a place to put it.
It doesn't go with you into the ground. So that's
Amen.
yeah, I'm I don't know. I'm thankful that there's somebody doing what you're doing. It's not that not anybody else can do it, but I feel like it takes a special kind of heart to do what you're doing, in my opinion. And that's I think that you fall into that category. And you also covered two or three of the other questions I was going to ask, but but that's okay. I mean, I do want to ask: is there a moment, just a specific moment, if you think back, a specific moment that impacted like you as a person in the charitable work that you've done, that changed? Maybe it was eye opening. Maybe it changed uh, a path. It could be positive. It could be negative. What would that be for you?
Truth be told, I can go on and on about that, but I can, excuse me, I can cite two. Um, I'll do three. I'll be quick. I'll talk faster even than usual. Let me blow my nose because these sinuses. I still have lung crap.
Power of editing. Go for it.
Power of editing.
Yeah.
So here's the fun part. Three examples of that: God thumps, purpose, however you want to word it, however you want
Yeah.
to see it. I love children. I have one of my own. I have another on the way. I've always loved children and felt a special call to them. Maybe it's because I am a child and I think better
Yep.
on like terms. But I have led in children ministry. I have led classes. And one of those examples I have is recently I got to speak at the career day for the elementary school I attended. I gave out a bunch of Pokemon and sports cards to a bunch of kids, told them what I did for a living, and got to literally see the light spark in children's eyes and say, like, hey, how do I do what you do? What made you want to do what you do? What is this that you do? I love that you do this. Like, kids I didn't even know hugging me, kids saying that they want to do that. I actually was invited to be a part time substitute teacher for Bartlett City Schools now,
That's cool.
all sorts of fun stuff. That moment really, it got me when I was closing up. I was looking at the class that I was in for that day, and it just, I couldn't believe that I'd gotten to that place, and I it is through no power of my own, but I'm very thankful for it. The next day was a card show, and a guy came up to me and he bought a big old Gundam figurine that I have, which I don't typically carry that, but I like to carry
Yeah.
all sorts of odds ends. I'm also big on trading, so even if I don't know a market as well, if I can, if someone can prove to me what the value of something is, and then they'll take a percent off of it, I'll trade my car for enough Pokemon cards. I don't care. Um, and a guy came up and was like, I'm gonna buy that Gundam. I don't care how much it is. And I was like, that's a bold claim. It's $700. He was like, nah, I know it ain't that. I was like, you said, and we laughed. And I was like, it's, 80 bucks, whatever, $100. And the guy moved to the side and he was like, this kid here hasn't shut up about you since yesterday. And the kid, his name is Owen. He came, no, Oliver with Owen. He brought the thank you card I gave him and showed it to me. He didn't even say anything, and he was just jittering like electric, bro. He was so, it's like 901 deals. I'm here. Dude, I almost cried at the booth. My buddy next to me, HP, Peter, and his lovely girlfriend Hannah. I choked up. I was like, mm. I was like, super cool that you're here. That's crazy. I'm like, I Do I ride a motorcycle? I am a tough guy. I work out. I'm also a girl dad with a pregnant wife yet again, and my emotions are based off of theirs. I legit almost cried at that kid coming up and getting that with his dad. Another the two quicker examples is at a event I was selling, and this was earlier this month, and this family comes up to me. They buy a handful of dollar cards. I give them a couple of cards for free. I do a little silly coin flip with them over $0 or $2, something
Yeah.
all for fun. And the dad turned to me and was like, "Hey man, I just wanted you to know she doesn't like to talk about it, but she spent 2 years going to St. Jude. And once we heard who you were, we knew we were coming to do business with you. We love that you're doing this, man. Keep doing what you're doing. It means more than you know." And the little girl was like, "Thank you so much. You're part of the reason I'm here." Like, whole
Oh
family just
man.
super appreciative. And another moment that I was like, yeah, I might cry. Like, it just really, really gets me, man. It makes me so happy. And she was just smiling ear to ear. And then another time recently that it really like hit me is I was selling Labubus, which openly only thing I scalp. I could care
Fair.
absolutely less about Labubus, and
That's
now
fair.
their market has crashed, so who cares? But
Yeah.
and I told people that, like, when they came to buy Labubus from me, I was like, hey, I'm selling this little thing for $50. You can buy a fake one for $5, but you can't buy a real one for any less than that. Like, I'm not getting them much cheaper than that. I had so many people ask me for them that I gave in. Um, so I carried them.
Yeah.
I was in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and this girl came in and her Labubus all had hats. Well, I have one Labubu that I wear on my satchel as means of, is that a Labubu? Yes, it is. I actually have some for sale. And most of the answer is, I would never buy one. That's crazy that you have one. I'm like, cool. Now we're talking and I didn't have to drag you into conversation anyways. Still a win. But I saw a girl who had Labubu hats. I was like, hey, I want one of those. And she knitted them. And she was like, no, these are mine. And I was like, well, go in the corner, knit one for me, and come back. And she starts laughing. She's like, no, no, I'm not going to do that. I was like, good. They're not that cool anyway. Like, just joking back and forth with her. And I always have 2 or 3 binders full of free cards. And I just always give them out to kids,
Yeah.
just bulk most of the time. Couple EXs, couple Vs in there. Sometimes I'll slide in a full art. If I'm donated any cards, I give them away. I don't believe in making money off of stuff I didn't spend money on. And so people always love, the free stuff. But the girl grabbed some, her sister got some, and the dad was super cool too. I think he actually rode a Harley, and we talked about my bike, and like they stayed there for a while. Um, they left and then had to have been 3 hours later, came back around, and she walks up to me and she looks like fake angry, and I was like, "What'd I do?" She was like, "This took so long," and handed me
Oh
an
man.
Umbreon hat for my Labubu, and I was like, "Oh, I didn't actually want you to." And her dad stepped out, was like, "Don't let her make you feel." And she's giggling now, like she's just laughing. He's like, once we left, we looked at a couple other tables, and she said, "I really want to get that guy a hat." So she made me an Umbreon one, and then brought an
Wow.
extra one for me to give to my wife for her Labubu, which was a little, a little blue one. And I offered them money for it. I was like, let me give you $10. So they were like, nope, we don't want, like, she wanted to do this for you. We don't want compensation. You said go knit in the corner. The reason we laughed so hard is she brought her stuff with her. Like, she had so it wasn't a big deal. We sat down, we opened some packs. So I gave them a couple of packs or whatever, but they like seeing people do stuff out of kindness of their heart and then deciding that I am deserving of that kind of kindness. That is only God in me, man. Like, every single time I am blown away, and it just fills my heart. And that's big reason why I love this community as well, is little things like that. That's why I said I would limit myself to 3, because I really could
Just
just
keep
go
going.
on and on. Yeah.
And
It's
what's
insane, man.
bad is, I kind of want to, be like macho about it, but I generally I started tearing up because it's sweet, man. It's beautiful.
It's
That's the
so
thing.
nice, bro.
That's great.
It's so sweet, bro. I absolutely love it. It is yeah, there have been several times in Pokemon, in shoes, just in being the persona of 901 deals that I've definitely had people catch me off guard. Now, I still deal with rude people and entitled people and
Oh,
stuff of that nature all the time. I mean, I deal with you.
yeah. I'm
So
sorry.
I definitely I there are ups and downs, but I tell people all the time, like the goods outweigh the bads, and it's not close. Like
Yeah.
it's not even kind of close.
It is. It is great to me in this community. I think even, and I'm not speaking about myself. Actually, what's great is we wanted to do an episode with you first before we even do an episode between the two of us introducing ourselves. So you came first. Just
Man,
um,
y'all inflate my ego too much.
yeah,
I get called a bobblehead a lot. One, because I have a big head, and two, because I let stuff get to my head. So I appreciate that
yeah. No, it will fuel the rest of your week,
for sure.
holiday week. Uh,
It's perfect time.
it is a great time. But I
Can't wait to
think
be arguing with my uncle and be like, yeah, well, Ritual Hits thinks I'm pretty freaking awesome. So I don't care how you feel about that.
no, I think it's great that in at least in the Pokemon community, because that's the circle that I'm in, um, which you're also a part of. That I think there is. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of annoying stuff, a lot of rude people. There's some stuff that I kind of want to talk about later. Might get a little controversial,
I'm ready.
um, of stuff that I think people do that aren't right. But I think there's a lot of good and beautiful moments that are even made in the smallest transactions over shiny cardboard that
100%.
uh, I mean, I know it's changed my life in the last. I've been doing this since April. That's my short little time, and I'm sure same with you, like as you've described.
Yeah,
So, um, jumping into the TCG little transition.
I'm ready.
It, it could be a hot take. It could be just how you feel, however you want to approach this. What does the TCG, and it's broad, what does the TCG community do best?
Um, Acceptance. That's got to be it. I've been a member of the church for quite some time now. I've been a thespian, so I've been in theater. I've been an ally to many different groups, which again, thank God
Yeah,
for it. I've been in a lot of different circles, man. And TCG, let me clarify, TCG, not sports cards.
yeah.
Um,
We
because
don't
that
like
is a
them
different
guys.
that is a different animal. Dude, I'm in sports cards
There you go.
and me and sports card shop owners get along swimmingly, but a lot of sports card vendors and I do not get along well. And it's because just little tangent.
Yeah,
Um, when Pokemon people have sports cards to the side, most of the time they're good deals. Most of the time, the sports card people come and try and get those cards first because they know the Pokemon guys are gonna sell them cheap. The exact opposite with sports, bro. Every show I do, and I go up, and a prismatic elite trainer box is $200, and like sports guys will come over there with their kids and they don't know better, like they just don't. um and just like $1 for a common bulk card, I'm like, I as quick as I am to give a compliment is almost as quick as I am to be an asshole. And so
that's fair.
I have picked a couple of fights where I shouldn't have. I was in the wrong. And if any of you old white men that travel around Tennessee happen to hear one of these, know that I somewhat apologize. Not really. I will do it again and I don't
Yeah,
feel bad about it, but I know I'm in the wrong. That doesn't reflect Jesus. I'm sorry. I should do better. We'll see if I do.
yeah,
But in TCG, in the matter of 5 minutes at a busy show, I could see a very queer person. I could see a very trans person. I could see a very masculine person, a very feminine person, a black person, a Hispanic person, a Chinese, Japanese, Korean, Vietnamese, Filipino, white, any kind of person, and they're all in a group. They're
Yep.
all together. Some people will dress as cosplay on a random Saturday, not even on a big convention. Some people will come with their just, furry ears or a tail. I've seen several people that
Same.
just have a tail.
Yep.
And no one that is vending or buying or just no one in the community seems to be like, I don't like that. People will ask like, yo, what's up with that? Like that's cool that you're wearing that, or like, why is your tail green? Like, what are you leafy on? Like, are you meant to be some sort of like septile? Like, what are like people are really inquisitive, and they give you a space to like ask questions, which I think a lot of communities miss on too. um but it really doesn't feel like there's true judgment. I think you
Yeah.
get judged more if you're thought of as a scalper, or if you're
Oh
thought of
yes.
as a poser. But as any other type of person, like, you could see somebody with a bright red MAGA hat or a very loud and proud pride shirt on, and they'll be at the same booth together and they will not address that. I
Yeah.
like they will not. They will address what Pokemon they like. They will address what they're hunting that day. They will address the hit rates. They will talk about the scalpers that beat them at the restock at
Yeah.
Walmart. Like, but dog, they are not there to have problems with each other, and I love that. Like
I do love
the
that too.
acceptance, like, truly. I've worked a lot of sneaker and like sneaker con and stuff events that are bigger for that demographic, and there are friends of mine who are more introverted, and who don't like to be approached or don't like to feel like they have to do stuff, or just aren't a fan of the same environment.
Yeah.
And I will tell them like, don't just don't come. Like, respectfully, if there's shoes you want, or you're looking for something, or you want to deal on something, let me know. I'll keep my eye peeled. Pokemon shows, TCG events, I tell everybody, like, find a friend, and even if no one else can go, if you go solo, just go talk to a nice enough vendor. Like, the
Yeah. They'll
amount of
become
people
your
I've
friend.
had, yeah, the amount of people I've had come up to me and be like, "This is my first show. I'm just doing a lap." And I'm like, "Hey man, don't feel pressured to buy anything. Check out the stuff that I have. Go look at what my buddy over there has. Go look at what that guy down there has. Scope the place out, get a feel for it, enjoy it, feel the vibes, decide if you want to buy something." And every time they're like, "Okay, yeah, I will do that." I mean, just this past 2 Saturdays ago, that event we did in Nashville, there were a
Yeah.
lot of people who said it was their first show, and they all had really good reviews for me by the time they left.
Yeah. The second question is kind of based off of your answer. So think of your answer of how does acceptance compare? And you kind of covered this, but how does it compare to the sneaker and fashion scene?
That's a great question. So you get the snobby people in Pokemon. There are people who are like, "I don't want a slab if it's not worth $1,000. I don't
Yep.
want singles if they're not, you know, trending upwards, blah blah blah." But man, in sneakers and fashion, it's like most of the people that are a part of it. Let me retract that. I don't like speaking in absolutes, or over exaggerating. A lot of the people that are vendors, they really snub their nose at other people.
Yes.
My motto has always been community over competition. I don't see competition. I just see other people that fill in the same space that I do, and that's okay.
It's all
Uh,
shiny cardboard.
I will never have enough cards, nor will I ever have enough shoes to put a pair of shoes on everybody in the world's feet, or to give everybody in the world a free card. So that being said, there's enough room for everybody else doing what I'm doing. I welcome it. Um, but in sneakers, man, there's that exclusivity of like, "Oh, you
Yep.
don't have these." Like Pokemon, it's like, oh, I got the new Charizard SIR, and someone's like, oh, me too, and it's like, dude, that's awesome. I'm so glad we both got that card. It's a great card. In sneakers, like a lot of people are like, yo, I can't believe you wore, your Travis One Lows today. I'm wearing mine, like, but I got mine from Travis. So like,
Yeah.
it's like, what? Like, um, and I think honestly, now that I think about it, I think gatekeeping happens in both for sure.
Yes. 100%.
But I do think that like a good source in sneakers is way more gate kept than like they used to call them methods.
Yep.
So limits on cards, there were limits on sneakers you could buy in the store and stuff. And people had different methods for, oh, this online store you can only use this type of credit card. However, you could solve an extra captcha, use PayPal, or to blah blah, and like people would sell information on how to break these firewalls with methods. And I don't know. There's also a lot of shisty stuff in the sneaker community. A lot of fakes, which there's fake Pokemon too, don't
Yes.
get me wrong, but like the rep market in sneakers is huge. And yeah, I wouldn't say that the sneaker culture just doesn't accept people. But it is more snobby for sure on the overall of it. But the majority of sneakerheads are still like, yo, you like pandas? That's cool. Even if it's not their take. Like, oh, you're wearing Heelys? That's dope. Oh, you're wearing Chunky Dunkies? Oh, that's super dope. You're wearing a $10 pair of Adidas? Love them. Oh, you're wearing a $20,000 pair of SB Dunks that there's one of 7,000? I love those as well. Like, most people are still cooler, but like, I think the difference is the people at the top in Pokemon. So you look at your like Coop and Beard
Yep.
Dad and all these people, they're known for making people feel invited. Like people get into it just from watching their videos, where sneaker videos are almost all in like these nicer sneaker stores. And it's almost like certain people will laugh if somebody asks like, why is this Nike swoosh backwards, because it's a Travis Scott. And like the worker, the person supposed to sell the product will be like, haha, you don't know. And
Yeah.
it's like just that reaction. I have felt that way in church and Pokemon, anything, when someone's like, you really don't know, instead of like, man, let me tell you, I actually love this. Like, and I think that the bigger people in sneakers shit on the lower, where the bigger people in Pokemon bring the lower up.
Yes, I agree with that. And that's I'm man, you keep covering the questions. It's like you're reading my PDF. Can you see it off my glasses? Or like what's
Yeah, I actually have been just looking
Yeah.
at the glare.
I probably should take the glasses off next. I don't know.
There's nothing wrong with glasses, bro. If my
They're for
sinuses were any
aesthetic.
worse, I'd take mine off.
They're for aesthetic at this point. I gotta get an appointment. Um, yeah, because
My eyesight has gotten worse. I'm terrified.
the next question was is how do they overlap like the communities? I will
Yeah,
say, like to me, I love sneakers. Um, I got rid of most of my collection when I turned like 18
yeah,
because like growing up in school, I didn't quite figure out what shoe size I was, truthfully. So I was wearing like 13 wides. I was wearing 14s. If I wanted more room, I think that I might still have them. This big, ugly green pair of size 16, yeah, size 16 shoes or something
nice.
like. But all basketball shoes. That was kind of my thing. And I felt like I know certain content that I'm talking about that I've seen where I feel like, you go and watch Beer Dad or Coop and Pokemon. It's that giving and even some content, even like mine or other people's, it's just deals or whatever. But I know there is Pokemon content where it's like, here's $100,000 and it's that hype beast content.
Yeah,
Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I feel like betting definitely exists in Pokemon, where it's about the money, and uh, in the sneaker world too, where it's like who can spend more money the next
For
person, the
sure.
biggest transaction. If you can go to the till, whatever, and rack up $58,000 worth of sneakers,
For
it's
sure.
a symbol. You know what I mean? That's that. I mean, not that I'm answering my own question. I don't know why one of that is, but um, that's kind of like how I see it. Do you think there's anything that the sneaker community and the Pokemon community could learn from each other?
Oh yeah. So that's a great question. I think about this a lot because and again, I try not to toot my own horn mostly because I'm loud enough. Everybody hears me anyways. But I am known in both communities.
Yeah.
I could flex. So I used to be a really big gamer, and people used to flex their friends list. I could
Oh
flex the
yeah.
people who follow 901 deals for both Pokemon and sneakers. I could
I've
flex
looked
these,
at it. It
but
is a flex.
I truly just see them as friends. And
Yeah.
that's how I'm able to enter a lot of spaces I enter. Is I'm a sarcastic, witty asshole, and I don't care who you are, how many followers you have, like, and I'm super thankful for it. But the thing that I would love to like take from both of them and be like, here's what you should do better for each is sneakerheads and fashion culture and just like the streetwear hype versus TCG hype, not just Pokemon. I'm talking about One Piece, MTG. Yu-Gi-Oh's not really what it was. I still love Yu-Gi-Oh, but like
It's
One
great.
Piece Magic and Pokemon is what I would say the most. And then, Riftbound's on the rise, a couple of other things here and there. It is almost, not almost, it is frowned upon in the TCG community to say, I want to make money in this.
Yeah.
And I want to make money off of cardboard.
Same.
I like slabs myself, but I'm not grading 50 to 100 cards a month because I just collect 100 slabs a month. Like I want them to be tens. I
Yep.
want the ungraded to the 10 value to go up, and then I want to sell it for that higher price. And that doesn't make me a bad guy. Um, in sneakers, you don't have to make the most money off of every transaction. And for a lot of like dead stock, so unworn shoes that are hype, a good example is I actually have I put it up. I have one of the pairs of the Travis Scott fragments that just came out that are going for $2,000.
Yep.
Um, and I swear to you, in sneaker culture, it's like, dude, you sold those for cheaper than what you could have made out of it. Like, you're an idiot. Where in TCG, it's like, dude, you sold it for that much. Do you feel like a jerk for selling
Yeah.
to that person? Like, if they could meet in the middle and kind of understand that, like, you can enjoy something while also
While
making a
making money.
profit while also being fair. Like that conception, honestly, like I want more people to get it, but I also kind of don't, because people not understanding that is where I come into play. Like when I
Same.
explain to people that like what I do is I find your price at here, I offer here, you negotiate me to here, and market is here. So then I take it here and sell it to someone else for there. Like people are like, how does that even work? I'm like, because when someone wants $100, you offer them 60, you guys agree at 75, and then I sell it for 85. I'm okay. I'm fine with beating the 90 to 100 market. I don't need every single dollar off of it, but most of the time there's that wiggle room I have embedded into it. And that's only because a lot of people who don't actually work in business, finance, money
Yep.
management, they're not taught the barter system anymore because corporate America is trying to basically abolish it. Because imagine if you could go into McDonald's and be like, I'm gonna create my own deal. I'm gonna buy so much McDonald's that you guys let me have 3 McDoubles for $3 like the good old days. And McDonald's employee who's like a 17-year-old high school is like, I can't ring that up. Like, what do you mean? Like,
Yeah.
no, the price is the price. So being able to live in that gray is fine. But yeah, man, in sneakers and in that sort of hobby, it's like, man, you're supposed to squeeze out every cent you can. And then in Pokemon, it's like, dude, you're supposed to give everything you get away. And the only place that I think has really captivated that is Whatnot, because
Yes.
you will see sneakers and Pokemon both sell for dirt cheap. And in the same stream, you'll see a $5 card sell for 20, and you'll see a $80 shoe sell for 300, but you'll also see a $300 shoe sell for 50, and you'll see an $80 card sell for 5. So
Yeah.
I think the online market it's got a bit of that collab in there, but yeah,
For it it
both of them
it
could
in
learn.
person, it actually probably will never happen, but the like it'd be nice if it did, and at the same time, it's nice if it doesn't. Um,
Yeah, that's the thing. Because if everybody does it, then we're almost out of a job, guaranteed.
yeah, yeah, no kidding. So we've mentioned Pokemon a couple times. We're in a
Yeah,
weird spot in Pokemon right now.
yeah.
Um, it's the market's weird. People are acting weird about it. Some vendors are over the moon about it. Some vendors are sell absolutely everything, and I'm gonna go do something else until May. Do you need a break? Here, please hold, Robo Dick.
Oh, yep, sure. I'm ready. I'm trying not to, but
No, you're good,
yeah,
bro. It's I I pay for the full Adobe suite. We're fine. Like it's
I like
you
it.
know
I like it.
that's what I'm doing after this is I'm editing. We're good.
Hell yeah.
No, I plan to get this out tomorrow. We'll see.
Sweet.
Maybe. We'll see.
I get that.
Yeah. Um with with Pokemon
Yes.
and the time that we're in, I know Pokemon Center just dropped Ascendant Heroes. I'm mad about that. We'll talk about that later. The
That's
um
awesome.
did the I'm gonna I call it the investing boom. I don't think that's actually what it's called, but I think of like beginning of this year, February, when Prismatic dropped, scalping went rampant. Truthfully, it's not that it hasn't before, but from Prismatic till maybe earlier this month, I kind of call it the investing boom. Has it helped or hurt the hobby, in your opinion?
So, fun fact, it wasn't prismatic, it was surging sparks. It
Okay.
just died off quicker. So, what Pokemon did was they dropped surging sparks and then they dropped pocket, or they dropped
Yep.
pocket, then surging sparks. Pocket gave everybody in the world access to free Pokemon cards. It's just on your phone, which everything is now. So they
Yeah.
got back into it. Then they dropped a Pokemon Pikachu set. And Pikachu is Pikachu. It's still in the Macy's
Number one.
parade every year for a reason. It's Pikachu. Um, Here's my special guest. This is Dobie. Um, so
Hello.
it was actually Surging Sparks sparked it, pun intended, and then Prismatic with that Umbreon just changed everything. But a lot of people discredit Surging Sparks because it quickly fell off. But
Yeah.
you could buy Surging Sparks packs and sell them for a profit online. So Surging Sparks, it did start it, which is still mind-boggling. But yes, this time, as I think it has helped the hobby because more people have gotten into it and it's created more of a need for vendors. It's created more of a need for events, and it has given more people a reason to get into Pokemon. So, you take all the politics out of it away, and
Yeah,
that's just a good thing. That's just a good thing. More people into what you're into
I agree
means
with that.
that there's going to be more available, which we've seen. I mean, they've 151 for a while was sitting places. I mean, Costco was running those bundles on them where it was an ETB and a was it two ETB. It was an ETB, a 10, and another 10 for like $80. And those ETBs were 151 or what's the one with Lucario on it? Not Astral Radiance. Crown Zenith for a while.
Yep,
They were running those deals and they were like $90 for all three of those. And they were sitting, bro. I could buy them all the time. I bought them all the time. I literally would go in and just get them. Same with Sea and Sky boxes. When Sea and Sky boxes first came out for Crown Zenith, I mean, they were notoriously easy to come by. Um,
it
right
wasn't
now,
like the clips of Prismatic, where you'd see people ripping it from other people's hands.
if you went to Walmart or Target and there were Phantasmal Flame sleeve packs there, I would be impressed.
Yeah,
Um, and I mean, that is crazy and it's not sustainable. However, it's nothing new. This has happened in Pokemon many a times. And because we're in such an interesting time, I don't know how much the 30th is going to change things again or what it's going to do exactly. I imagine it'll be another little bump, but overall, it's a good thing. Overall, I think it's cool. I think Pokemon notoriously has always been something that even when people begin to face burnout for it, it's
yeah,
easier to put down and pick back up. A lot of things are harder to pick back up. So I think overall, it's been a good thing. And I
I agree
think
with
your
that.
average collector and seller. So I mean, I've been on both sides of the booth every time. I've traded
Same.
in at 70%, and I've traded out at 70%. Like I've been on the receiving end, giving end, and I still know that it is a good sign when you go to a weekend event and it's full versus nobody being there. So I would say
Yeah.
it's been pretty good.
If so, think of I would say think of like the current market that we're at. Again, it is weird right now. I'm not saying it's not been weird before because it has been weird before. Um, what is one thing that you would want to change, and whether that's from a customer aspect, a vendor perspective? What is one thing that you'd change? What would it be?
Hmm. I may I may actually take a different route on this.
Sure.
Um one if I could just change something in Pokemon right now. If I could just
Yep.
change something in collecting right now, it would actually be GameStop and other retailers' availability to selling products in their in
Oh, the
Pokemon
UPC thing was
Streamline.
crazy that they did.
So so have you ever thrift shopped? I used to be a really big thrifter. I used to love to go in and be able to get a bunch of clothes for nothing.
Yeah. I mean, fun fact, that is when I was in high school, I felt like my mom thrifted everything that me and my brother would wear.
Hell yeah.
Um, so
Okay,
I get it.
that's perfect. The reason I ask is because thrifting really changed when some Goodwills started trying to eBay price match because people were going into thrift stores and reselling a bunch of stuff. I get where the heart is there. I get where the intent. If anyone's going to make money off of it, it should be us. If people are already going to pay this, then we might as well be the ones to sell it at this price. And Goodwill lost a lot of money, and
Yeah.
a lot of Goodwills could not sustain that. And most of them at this point have dropped back down except for certain high ticket items or whatever. But they were also not able to legit check like Yeezys and Jordans and stuff. So they had like $500 fake shoes sitting at the front of the store. So like it made the thrifting experience worse. And Plato's Closet went up on prices. You know, the last thrifting boom really like everywhere went up. Well, GameStop and PSA have been doing Pokemon dirty, and people get mad at GameStop and PSA, and I get that. I'm not quite fond of their actions either. But man, all Pokemon has to do is streamline it. They can stop giving these corporations such a huge negotiation or contract, and they can break it up to more moms and pops, to more people getting allocations. I
Yeah.
mean, for distribution, for distro, you have to apply, you have to go through different spots, you have to get a contact, you have to get a connect somewhere, all these things. But like, if you and I can just open up a shop, or not even open up a shop, just get a hold of distribution where like we're getting it under MSRP and then we can sell it at MSRP or do whatever, like, yeah, a lot of people would just straight up be scalping. But GameStop and Target and Best Buy and all these places, them going up on their prices, that is what might actually kill the market for a long time.
I agree with
I
that.
think it would still bounce back it would bounce back eventually, because I don't think I don't think it's going anywhere. But you cannot sustain 79.99 as the retail price when Jordan's MSRP, because Jordans were flying off the stock. Every single Jordan that has come out this year, except for five different shoes, only five general releases, and we are about to enter December, have been worth more after the drop than before, because all of them have plummeted. All of them
Yeah.
are sitting. Places have to put them on sale to get them sold. And it's happened to Pokemon before. Just 2 years ago, 3 years ago, however, maybe two, I was able to go in GameStop and buy three ETBs at $39.99 and get the fourth one free.
Yep.
And that was Obsidian Flames, Shining Fates, and they had a couple of others. But I went through Champions Pack. I went through so much of those boxes. So many of those boxes. Um, but that's what we're looking at happening again. I don't know how long it would take, but like GameStop mainlining to PSA and then raising retail of Pokemon, it's so smart and evil and
Yeah.
gross. Like you can't even use your $5 off as a pro member for cards anymore.
It's smart in a disgustingly smart is what it is, really.
So if I could change, need to grab a charger. If I could change one thing about the Pokemon industry or market right now, it really wouldn't be from an individual seller, an individual buyer stance. That's what really, if you ask me what really grinds my gears, that's what really gets me.
I feel like there's a lot of people, like you said, from Pokemon Pocket that got introduced to the hobby fresh this year. And a lot of people that, they may have, I would say they've either got introduced or they've been reintroduced to
Yeah.
the hobby. And they either collected when they were young, like how many people I know I've met and you've probably met that said, oh yeah, I had base set and I had Sky
Yeah.
Ridge and
Yeah.
I had all these different sets from the early 2000s. How do you feel ripping? That's what I'm going with. Is ripping has changed post pandemic?
Oh man, that is a great question. And the only answer I have is free gambling became more expensive, and that is about it. Anybody who tries to tell you that Pokemon or any other sort of pack opening is anything except shiny cardboard gambling is trying to sell you a lie.
Yeah.
that itch to try to get a good hit. I mean, it's always been there, but I think since the pandemic, it has become crazy. And I think that, not to get too political or go too into it, but the mark of a recession can be indicated through gambling and through the common Joe thinking that something will bring them out of their rut without
Yeah.
something drastic happening in their work or in their day-to-day life. So more scratch offs are bought during a recession, more people play the lottery, casinos typically do better, and Pokemon and other cardboard sales go up because the ability, people on TikTok sell you the idea that if you buy a prismatic pack, there is a possibility you get a god pack. And so many people record that god pack opening that people truly believe the odds are in their favor. And that's just not true. You take a recording of somebody hitting big on slots at the casino, dog, they've been there for 3 days straight and they just won $1,000, but it's all in pennies. So it takes 2 hours to come out. Like some people make it big on sports betting here and there, but the millions of dollars every day that Vegas makes off of people not hitting, that's what matters. But they're not going to cover that. The
Yeah.
millions of dollars people are spending on packs that they rip and just throw away. Dude, I can't tell you the amount of times I've sold a pack for $7 or $8 and somebody's hit an EX or like a trainer full art or something that like as a kid I would have lost my mind over, and they're like, bulk, just give it away and like leave it at my table. Like truly. And it's
Yeah.
because they're
I,
not pulling that crazy Charizard. They're not pulling that crazy Umbreon. They're not pulling the butthole Pikachu. They're not pulling something that immediately allows them access to finances they didn't have beforehand. And and I think that that has dramatically been oversaturated and over publicized almost. Since like
yeah.
so many
I agree with
people.
that.
I mean, hell, you have Waka Flocka Flames opening Pokemon packs on Instagram and TikTok Live with a bunch of people from sneakers and a bunch of people that are in the Pokemon community, like these big names from all over that are hitting big. And so everyone's like, dog, what if I just opened this one pack? And they equate that the more expensive a pack, the higher the chance of getting something good is.
No, that's not true.
Man, man, dude, when I first got really back into ripping more often, which is what I've done my whole life. I've been a ripper through and through.
Same.
Um, but I started watching people on Whatnot, and dude, I was watching packs that I used to open as a kid sell for $1,200 for a blister, and nothing good come out of it. And then the person on there would buy another one. And I mean, dude, I've sold stuff my whole life, and I was sitting there like I wanted to type in the chat like, what the hell are you doing? Who
Yeah.
is telling you this is a good idea? Unless you are a single person who has a crazy job that like, or you have no other hobbies, like I just can't imagine on a like Thursday evening or Friday evening getting on my phone, watching somebody open Pokemon and being like, I'm gonna spend 5 grand and hope I get a couple bucks back. Boop, and then get nothing and be like, well, I'm gonna go to bed now. Like, dude, that what?
Do you feel like, and maybe this is coming off of like just a personal opinion with ripping, how it's changed since post pandemic. Like so I got some stats for you based off some packs.
I'm ready.
So this is 2017 to 2025. So in 2017, you could buy a legendary collection pack for $70. Okay. And that was expensive in 2017 for a pack.
Extremely,
Now,
bro.
now let's talk about 2025. An LC pack based on eBay to Whatnot. So eBay, a pack is going for around $3,000. On Whatnot, people are selling packs for $4,100, and that is not guaranteed a heavy like hollow. So that people chasing firework hollows $4,100 a pack plus shipping and
People
taxes.
hated those.
Yeah.
People hated those. People thought that those cards were shit. I was given those. I was literally given those from other kids and older siblings, bro. And I didn't
Yeah.
think they were. I thought they were super cool at first, and then I was peer pressured. My opinion was changed by the masses. I am not above that. And as a kid, I was like, oh, this isn't as cool because people say it's not.
Yep. And even like I'm gonna just go one what like we're all familiar with. This is later, not 2017, 2020. Evo Cries. Evo Cries, I remember being about $4 a pack. You couldn't give away Evolving Skies if you wanted to because of how bad the hit rates were. And now, based off TCG, $28 a pack and has gone up as far as being $41 a pack when the boom
Yep,
happened to 50 to 60. Um, and that's another example, as well as I think something that I personally hate, and I kind of want to see where you stand on this with that ripping mentality post pandemic, that people look at cards. If you ever watch, you doom scroll on TikTok, I do sometimes have Pokemon content come up, and you see them opening a pack. And it says how much the card is, and then how much the card is in a PSA 10. And so people are saying, and I've seen that on Whatnot too, of people be like, this card is $10,000. It's
yeah.
not. When it gets shipped to you, it's not $10,000. What's your take on even that aspect of the whole when you rip and you pull, it's PSA 10 price?
Dude, I gotta be honest. I am a ripper through and
Yep.
through. My wife hates how many cards we have opened together since we've just been together. And I was more of a degenerate as a kid. Like I couldn't tell you the amount of evolving skies and the amount of different tag team packs I opened because that came out as I was going into college and I had a couple of jobs and I was on scholarships. So a lot of my money went to Pokemon packs, especially right before pandemic, the 2 years leading up, and then during. I was spent yeah. Anyways, but mine was quantity. I would never
Yep.
pay 3,000 for a single pack. That's crazy to me. But never say never. You know, you never know. But
You might one of these days. You never know.
I know. That's why I was like, I one time said I wouldn't spend X amount of money on shoes, and I did. And so I never want to say never now in hobbies that I enjoy because whatever. But that goes back to our previous conversation where I say that a lot of the people that have problems with stuff in the market or in the community, I don't think that they really know how to articulate what actually upsets them, or they don't really know how to identify where their feelings of rage come from. There
Yep.
is just hate watching. There's just seeing somebody open a pack and you be like, I wish I had that. I think people have really miscued or changed how people feel about cards and ripping because of PSA, because of grading, and because of value overall. Um, even as early as when I was in college in 17, 18, 19, and I was ripping packs, I graded with CGC. I would get some cards graded. I still have some stuff that I graded of my own. I still have some of the blue labels from CGC. I still have
Yeah.
some old labels from PSA. Like, that's fine. I never opened a pack and was like, this is the card I wanted. Ah, shit, it's not centered. I don't care about it anymore. Like, and honestly, bro, I can't not do it now. I submit
Yeah.
so
I
many
do the same thing.
cards. I submit so many cards to PSA that like that's what I look for immediately. And especially when people lie about it. I've been on both sides of the table. I've gone around looking for cuz it wasn't till this year that it was like uncommon for even vendors to be like, "Oh, I just don't grade." That was normal, bro. Like that was so normal. That was so normal to talk to someone and be like, "Hey, man, do you think this would grade well?" It's like, "I don't know. I don't grade." It's like, really? It's like, yeah, dude. I only put them in binders or put them up like in a collection. Like, I don't do slabs. Oh, okay. Well, do you mind if I check centering? Do you mind if I check corners? Yeah, man, because honestly, I wouldn't notice a white dot in the upper right hand corner of a card that looks fine to me. Now, every card, and for anybody who's listened to me and you, mostly me, ramble for an
Yeah.
hour plus, take this. I will admit it to you, and others will admit it to you. There are not going to be cards at my table that are raw that would PSA 10. If there is, I happen to miss it, or it goes from like a $5 card to maybe 40 or $50. It costs at least $20 and 3 to 5 months to grade something. If it's gonna go from 80 to 500 plus dollars, I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna grade it myself. So is every other vendor in that place. We're
Yep.
not all spending hundreds, if not thousands of dollars a weekend to bring you product to look at without looking at it ourselves. And if they do, they're missing a part of it. And power to those that don't. I'm not saying everybody does. I don't grade absolutely everything like I mentioned, but a lot of people, a lot of vendors now will be like, I think this one might 10. Yeah, if you're looking for a good centered one, this one's it. And you turn around and the hollow foil has scratches through it. It's whiting on the back. There's a tear. It's like, dude, this is LP. Like this is likely, but this wasn't even 8. And you know that. You know
Yeah.
that. So I do think I hate that. I hate when someone's like, oh, it's like those two numbers. It's like, oh, it's $50, but really it's probably 400. It looks like a 10. It's like, dude, you don't know. You
Yeah.
never know.
You never know. And by the way, I didn't used to be the person when we started vending, we did not grade at all. I bought slabs. So I would always tell people, people are like, "Do you grade?" And I was like, "No. You can look, and I'm not going to tell you whether or not it can 10." Now,
Yeah.
PSA to anybody that comes and checks my cases, there is not a single thing that you can PSA 10 in there because I have taken it out.
And that's just the truth, man. Like
And it's the truth for
I
not just us.
no, no. And I've had so many people come up and be like, bro, thank you. Like, I appreciate you not wasting my time for this. But what's crazy is a lot of vendors will come up to my table and be like, what do you have that you think would grade well? And I'm like, I just, I can't imagine, like, I don't know.
I've had the same
In my
same
mind,
thing.
it's like somebody from another gas station that works at a gas station goes to another gas station. They're like, "Hey, man, you can do me a better price on your unleaded." It's like we're doing literally the same. Like, do you just think I'm like? I know I'm stupid. I do, but do you really think that? Like it's wild, man. I don't know.
Is there so coming to a close here? I've got like a couple more questions to ask. One still standing on the TCG side of things. Pokemon more, is there a personal grail, and it could be in sneakers too, or fashion, or anything. Is there a personal grail that you could say the public doesn't know about, that
Hmm.
is something that you just don't talk about much, but it's like a personal goal, like a grail? You know what I'm saying? Like for me, there's a couple of them. Like everybody knows I want a Crystal Lugia. However,
Right.
not that many people know that I would love to have the large Dark Lugia oversized card, and that's a personal grail of mine that I want.
That's hilarious.
So,
I I gotta say, and this will sound bad and whatever. If people have listened to me this long, they know I'm no saint. Most stuff that I want, I have already acquired.
what a flex.
Um, and that's because, like I've said several times, I don't say it just to say it. I'm a collector before I'm anything else.
Yeah.
So there's still a few things I don't have. Umbreon's my favorite Pokemon. I collect low grade gold stars. I don't have the Umbreon, but I also the Celebrations Umbreon is just as good to me. So I don't really like I'm not holding out for
Yeah.
that.
I got my PSA 1 Gold Star Suicune, which is my favorite card probably of all time. It's at least in the top three. Also, this is just a flex. This is legitimately
Yeah,
just a flex. Yeah, this
yeah.
is
That
this is
that is the one. That's
yeah,
crazy.
this was just a flex. I collect jumbo cards as well. I collect a lot of stuff that people just don't really care about. If I had two of those Lugias, I'd be the really nice guy and only charge you 120% market. But
No, that's fair.
unfortunately, I only have one of them. So I'll bring it to Nashville so you can see it. But
Yeah, thanks.
until till I get a
Uh,
second one,
you will be robbed.
hey bro, you know I keep my fanny pack on me.
Yeah. I picked this up. This was one of my
Oh,
oh
so nice.
PSA
I
one,
love
dude.
I
Like
love Lugia. I love low grade gold stars. I could show off. Well, I'll our next pod.
our
I'll show
next
mine
pod,
off.
the next time.
But
Um,
honestly, for Grails, right now I am hunting a damaged or low grade gold star Entei. I have Raikou and Suicune. I'm missing Entei. That would be that would be like a grail for me.
man,
That
if
would be
only you would have told me
something.
there was a PSA two this weekend. Chattanooga.
See, yeah, that'd be dope. But it's one of those things, man, where like right now I have a baby girl that's 10 months old, and I have another on the way. And so like I'll still get stuff for my wife and I, but I mostly just get her stuff for her binder that I see as our
Yeah,
investment binder. And then I like to rip stuff with her. I don't really like I'll pick up stuff if it just naturally comes my way as a vendor, but I'm just not looking for personals right this moment just because I've gotten most of what I want. And again, that's not a flex, that's just out of new sets, there's not been a whole lot. Like I really wanted the Ludi Colo from Phantasmal and I opened it and I got the matching Ambi Palm. $3 cards that I really like that'll stay with me. I'm happy. I would love the SIR, but I don't need that Charizard. And I definitely don't care about the gold one. I pulled the Mega Lucario. Like I'm
yeah,
super content.
fair enough. Is there this is the last question before we close it out. Is there anything that you've noticed that people get wrong about you or 901 deals?
It's a great question. I don't know. Um I think in response to that question, I need to be more open to how people receive me.
Yeah,
Not just who I think I am or who now friends of mine like yourself think I am or my lovely wife or like people close to me, but like sometimes I hear stuff about what people have said when I'm not around, and my initial instinct is always like, well, screw that person. They obviously don't know me. They don't blah blah. But like we're all capable of hurting people's feelings. We're all
yeah,
capable of having
100%.
shortcomings. We all have blinders on. You can be the best, therapist, psychiatric worker. You can understand the human mind the best as anybody has ever done, and you will still not see yourself the way that other people do properly. Um, so I don't want to say that whatever they misconceptions or whatever they've strung along in their head about me is just wrong, and anyone who has negative thought is wrong.
Yeah,
I have I have hurt people's feelings. I've been in the wrong before and not either made an effort to make amends, or I've not stood my ground and apologized like a man, or like a good human.
yeah,
Screw being a man, like just a good human. Um, so I pray that because my image is connected with my business and now my business is connected with my family and so many of my friends that I get to work with and work alongside, I pray that I am well received and that if anybody hears me, they hear Jesus, and that I just put my best foot forward every time I take a step. And I also pray that when I don't, people show me some mercy. I pray that I do
yeah,
the same for others. So if I'm received in any other way besides those, I'm not going to say that someone's wrong. I just hope that they can show me why I'm wrong and help me to be a better person.
yeah. I mean, That was a lot better response than I
And they
thought you were
better
going to
say it in
give.
my face or I'll
Yeah.
swing on them.
Well, Brennan, thank you so much for being the first guest on. It's been a pleasure.
It's only going to go up from here. I've set the
It's,
bar as low as one can. It'll be
well,
great.
that just means the second episode you can outdo yourself
That's
next
right.
time you're on, you know.
When I come back on, I'll have to do better. I'll be
Yeah.
ready for those great questions you got.
I know, and then they're all going to be different next time. But thank you. I mean, thank you for setting the tone. You set the tone.
Good.
Even if you think it's a low bar, we'll say so. Keep your, so we keep you humble. It's not super low, but it's not the best ever. It's the first one. So no.
I like
So,
that.
um,
So I currently
where?
have the best one.
Yeah, you currently have the best one, but mine comes out next. So like.
That's true.
Where can people find you?
I am on the TikTok and I am
The
on
TikTok.
the Instagram.
Okay.
That's about it. So 901 deals all the way through. On TikTok, there's no underscore space, which I'm thinking about putting an underscore on there for TikTok just to have it concise. But Instagram and TikTok, that's where most of my
Okay.
content's going to be. We might get back on Twitch or YouTube or something eventually, but right now I don't want to overpromise anything. So definitely
Okay.
Instagram followed by TikTok.
And believe it or not, his all of his links will be down in the description below and on the screen momentarily. Sick.
Cool.
What's
That's awesome.
what's next? What's next for you? I know I saw your Instagram story today, this post and story. Do you want to talk about that since this comes out tomorrow?
Yeah, I will. I will try and conclude. So Friday is 901 deals only. Saturday is Cards and More Nashville. My buddy Ishmael and my buddy Turtle will be running that for me, and I will be with the Memphis Grizzlies doing a event in the FedEx Forum, and my buddy Hassler will be helping me run 901 deals here in Memphis as well. And then that evening, I will drive my happy tail to Nashville for Sunday, concluding Cards and More PokeFest with folks in Nashville.
We should get dinner. Um, after you're done. I'm
I could
not
be
going to be
down.
there, but we can do something. Um, well,
Sounds good.
Brennan, thank you for coming,
Thanks
and
for having me, man.
thanks for not dying too much.
Enough to be edited out some.
Enough to be edited out. And thank you all for watching episode 1 and joining episode 1. If you enjoyed the conversation, follow, subscribe, share, whatever you need to do, and make sure to comment someone you love so we can summon them into the circle. We'll see you guys on the next episode.